It's fall in Georgia. The leaves are falling and so are the temperatures. I've done like 20 takes of this. So it's finally getting cold enough here in Georgia we can use our fireplace. Now before this year, that's been a problem for us because our house has got spray foam and it was sealed up too tight. I made a video a while back talking about the problems. One of the things I mentioned in the video is the fact that our fireplace would not draw good. Every time you build a fire, it fills the house up with smoke. I guess because the house is sealed up so tight, there's nowhere, like it cannot pull air out of the house and send the smoke up the chimney. So sometimes we would open a window and that would help sometimes, but then you got an open window and that kind of defeats the purpose of having a fire, right? You got a nice warm fire going in the living room, and then you got this open window across the room and it's just sucking in cold air. I don't want to do that. I wanted to fix the problem. I'm trying to make a video out here, and this stray cat that we've been feeding the last month is out here rubbing on me and meowing and messing up my video. Bro, I just fed you like an hour ago. You're fine. What's wrong with you? His name is Axel Rose, by the way. He just kind of showed up. There he is. He just showed up like a month ago, and I just kind of named him Axel because he's orange, I guess. Today is October 29th, and this is the first fire we've had in the fireplace since I put the ERV in the house. So far, so good. We're just getting this thing started. I've got some fat wood in there, and it's smoking pretty good, and it seems like the fireplace is drawing. It does have a vent, so I've got the flue, I believe up there, that's the flue control. It's right here. There's like a little lever here for the flue. And then this is like the outside vent. I might be calling this the wrong things, but anyway, this is like the little outside vent. If you go outside my house, there's a little thing on the side of the chimney. So in another video, somebody said I needed to have one of these. I do have one, and I open it. But before the ERV was put in, this thing would not draw good. And you can see all the dark stains on the brick. It's kind of dark in here right now, but I've got the dark stains from the last 2 years of burning, maybe the last 3 years. Anyway, a lot of smoke was coming in the house, but right now we're looking pretty good. So we will see how it is as the fire gets bigger. We've got some Chosen on the TV. If you haven't seen that show, it is awesome. And we got Miss B over here. I mean, it's probably 50 degrees outside. It's barely cold, and she is bundled up in pajamas and blankets like we're living in Alaska. It is the next day. This is the second fire we've had since we've had the ERV put in. So far, so good. We did have a little trouble with some smoke earlier. I had to open up a window a little bit. It seems when you first get it going, that's when it smokes the most. I think I'm actually going to, maybe I'll reprogram the ERV a little bit, reconfigure it. A little distracted. We got the Bulldogs on right now. Miss B just watched them take care of business against Florida. She's very excited about that. Okay, so I might work on the ERV and turn it up where it's a little more positive pressure in the house. But the smoke issue today, very minimal. I did open a window for a little bit, but now the window's closed again, and it's very warm in here. I think we've had a fire now for 5 or 6 times, and the fireplace is working great. I have not readjusted the ERV. I'm probably going to at some point, but so far the fireplace is working great. I have not had to open a window again, and I've had a lot of smoke, and it's just going right up the chimney as it's supposed to. So if you're having any kind of ventilation issues with a spray foamed house, look into getting an ERV or maybe an HRV depending on where you live, because it has really helped us with not only the fireplace but some other issues we're having also. I'm going to end this video up here in the attic. This is my ERV, the Honeywell ERV that I installed myself. Took me a long time, like over a month. Maybe it took me 2 months to install it. I don't remember. Anyway, it cost me like $3,000 for the unit and all the ducting and everything and some equipment rental. But it's been running for about 5 months now. It's been working great so far. I do have it on a timer. I only run this thing 12 hours a day. One of the controls that I wanted to use actually got discontinued for this thing. I was going to put a controller downstairs by my thermostat, which was going to be a lot more work and a couple $100 worth of materials. And anyway, I spent what, like 15 or 20 bucks on a timer. I made a video about it. Anyway, somebody recommended it. Been working out good so far. The problem with me using a timer is this thing is not running all the time. What if I want to have a fire when this thing is not running? I don't want to do that. Anytime I have a fire going, I want this thing working. I want it pulling in fresh air. And I guess if the fireplace does put some smoke in the house, maybe this thing will pull it right on out of here. So this thing runs 6 hours in the morning, 6 hours at night, 5 a.m. to 11 a.m., 5 p.m. to 11 p.m. Long story on how I picked those hours, but that's just what I picked, and it's been working great so far. The other day I started a fire. It was like 4 o'clock in the afternoon. This thing was not turned on yet. So basically it's a little annoying, but what I did, I came up here into the attic and there's my timer. Okay, so I just unplugged the ERV from the timer and plugged it into the outlet that you see there below. Right, I plugged it right there. And then it came on. So then basically it's not running on the timer, it's running on the power, and it will stay on forever until I come up here and either manually turn it off or plug it back into the timer. Another reason I do that is because at nighttime, the ERV is going to turn off around at 11 o'clock. That's what the timer's set for. But a lot of times a fire might still be going. Let's say I go to bed at 10 or 11 and the fire is still going, it's still smoking, smoldering, whatever. I want this thing to run throughout the night. I don't want to go to sleep and then the house start filling up with smoke, even if it's a little bit, because the fire's not really burning, it's just kind of smoldering. I don't want the house filling up with smoke. Not just that, but carbon dioxide or something. It's not good. I want fresh air coming in. So what I've been doing when we have a fire, I go ahead and just plug it into the outlet or the receptacle. That way it stays on the whole time the fire is burning and all of that night. And then like the next morning I get up and I plug it back into the timer. We had a fire last night and this thing ran all night. And then this morning I got up and you can see it's plugged into the timer. I just plugged it right back into the timer. At some point I may run this thing 24 hours a day and then I won't have to worry about playing with this timer thing. Maybe someday I'll even wire in a switch or a control panel downstairs. That would be convenient. We don't have to keep coming up here and unplugging things. I could just like hit a power button or like an override switch and have it running. But I like to come up here anyway every once in a while and check on it, make sure it's still running, make sure that the timer's set right. And actually we just hit daylight savings time or whatever. We had to fall back, which is stupid. I hate the time change. But anyway, I had to reset the time on that thing. So it's good to come up here anyway every once in a while and check on it. So I don't mind doing that too much. We really only have fires on the weekend anyway. And as far as like people taking showers and stuff and they fill up the bathroom with steam, that doesn't bother me. I'm not going to run up here and force this thing on if somebody's just taking a shower or they're cooking in the kitchen. I think later on when this thing kicks on, it'll clean out the air. It'll pull out the steam or whatever. That's not as big of a deal as something like the fireplace burning inside the house. And did I say, yeah, at some point I may turn this on 24 hours a day. It doesn't draw that much electricity, so I don't think it will run up the power bill much. But this thing was really expensive. And I figured the less I run it, maybe the longer it will last. Is that wrong to think that? I don't know. Maybe the starting and stopping all the time is not good for it. I don't know. Whatever. But that's what we're doing, and so far it's working out great. Thanks for watching.